the boy.
Excuse me, miss. You don't mind me in the background? I can't even ask her to sign a disclaimer form because there's window. I'm stuck in the corner.
You're in that part of the terminal where you see the people coming in and out, isn't it? You actually swap on that like Travelator.
I'm just outside Australian pre-clearance. Hello, everybody. Welcome along to another episode of the podcast, the Offload podcast. Oh, our lovely man has brought me up. What's that, guy? A glass of water. Thank you so
would you look
much.
at it? Flick it around there, Tommy.
Say hello. Say hello. What's your name? Dave. Dave at Dublin Airport.
Dave. Thanks. What a gentleman.
I was giving out how I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning, and he goes, "Oh, I'm up every morning at 4 o'clock." Yeah, the only thing is, I do a 12-hour shift, and he's absolutely right.
Oh, so true. Yeah, exactly. If you're out there a gap.
Fair play to everybody here in Dublin Airport. Yes, so I am in the airport. I'm flying out to Brisbane at the moment. The team is announced. The Lions is in full going. I'm very excited, but I'm trying to find some. Like I got a lounge. Thank you. Yeah. Very fortunate to get into there. Thought that'd be nice and quiet. Sit there, get a nice little spot. It's jammers. The airport's
Can I make
jammers.
a point? Can I throw something out there to the world?
Right.
The lounge isn't what it used to be. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Tell us more.
Yeah, just that you know when you got in there before and you knew you were blagging it, but But now everyone's there. You know what I mean?
It's pretty much good value now. I mean, it's €28, I think, to get in. Happy days.
Yeah. And hold on, you can probably drink your loaf off for that, could you?
Oh, money well spent. Yeah, the bar, the food. It's great.
There we go.
And to be fair, you probably get potholed more in the lounge than you do.
100%. If you took that out in the lounge, no, absolutely. We'd probably have a sponsor within 10 minutes.
You were like, you're the rugby lad, are you? Yeah. Jeez, what do you think of the team? A lot of Irish, isn't there?
No, do you know what you'd meet in it? Out of nowhere, some Welsh fella would go, "It's a disgrace Morgan isn't in."
That'll be when I get to Dubai. That'll be when I get to... So I'm sitting on the floor outside American pre-clearance, looking forward to head off to Dubai, then Brisbane. Yeah,
I've got excitement
ahead.
for you.
Can't wait.
Tell us, Tommy, you're obviously heading out with the charitable trust. So what's your itinerary? What have you on?
So I am a part of the British and Irish Lions Board of Trustees, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So through that, the Lions brand is affiliated with a load of sponsors. They pick 4 or 5 sponsors. So you
charities.
Have the Wooden Spoon. You have the My Name is Doddy Foundation.
Hold on. Final and last boarding call. Where are they off to?
Gate 417, right?
That's not for you yet. We're good.
Dave, we couldn't turn those off again, could we? No. Okay.
Dave, don't worry about the water. Can you get your one to pipe down for 10 minutes?
I apologise to those listening to the podcast here today. I'm doing my best. I am doing my best.
Do you know what's going to happen? Someone's going to be listening to the pod in the airport going, "Are we down in 417?"
Well, anyway, you're not, and I'm not, thankfully, yet. So we have a bit of time to go. But anyway, listen, the Lions Trust does amazing stuff. It's actually a pot of money that is raised to try and help Lions who've fallen on hard times.
Yeah, amazing.
So there has been a number, and obviously this is a lot for our pre-professional players. Yeah. There's a lot of guys who played in the game. Pre-professional would have given up 6 weeks, 6 months of their lives to go and play international rugby or whatever else. And this pot of money is there to try and give them money back if they fall upon hard times and need surgery, whatever else. And also helping a load of other charities as well. So I'm going out there. I'm with the Loose Heads, which is a mental health charity. I'm going to go visit a rugby club over there and try and do the Lions bit over there. I'm doing something with Wooden Spoon over there. All the charities are going to be over there trying to raise awareness, raise money and do a good deed. And it's just about rugby community coming together, helping each other and helping those a little bit less fortunate.
Yeah, great. It's great to see. And look, honestly, the Lions embodies that all the time, doesn't it? Even just, we were lucky enough to be on tour where you get out and you get embedded within the community with some of the activities.
I'm going to give you the honest answer though. Do you know all those years we stood playing for Ireland and you're so nervous the day of the match, you're in Paris and it's a big game and you see 2 buses turn up. One bus for the team and the players and the next bus for all the Blazers, all the Alacatoos. And they're just heading off on the lash. That's me.
You're with the Blazers.
That's me.
Well done, Tommy. Enjoy every single minute of it.
I spent my whole career giving out about those lads and I'm now one.
Well, I never minded them enjoying it. What annoyed me was when they nearly had the same sorrow as you the day after. Jeez, it didn't break our way at all. And I'm there like, you didn't give away 4 penalties, fella, in front of the post. You know what I mean?
You were 40 pints in at that stage. You don't even know what happened.
You're doing well to make the bus home, fella.
Oh man, I can't wait, Donncha. I'm gonna love it.
But do you know
so
what,
yes.
Tommy? This is it. Like everyone's on the move now, aren't they? Like I'm actually jealous of you. When everyone was on about opportunities to go down and different things, and no, when I see you in the airport, I have the flutter, man. I'm there like, oh, geez, why am I going? Why am I
There are
going?
so many people, Donncha. There's so many former players there. They're talking 30, 40,000 Lions supporters landing into Brisbane and Melbourne over the next 2 weeks, plus all the Irish, English, Welsh, Scots who are living over there as well.
That's what I was about to say. On top of all of our
bonkers.
teachers and nurses that are already down there that they've poached.
Man, honestly, I'm so excited.
I've got FOMO. I've got FOMO, genuinely.
As a player, like we've been there, we heard you're sitting in the team room, the squad has been announced, or you're getting ready to get on the bus, and the thousands of supporters outside the hotel. Do you remember the singing, the dance? So I'm going to be one of those. I'm going to be in the thick of it. With a load of mates, so it's great crack. They're really excited.
Sorry, if just for the travel itself, have you a plan? Like movies, few glasses? What are you thinking? Are you just going to wing it? Hi, girls. How are you?
Hello, girls. Sorry, there's a number of people walking past me here. Yeah, well, listen. It's always my favourite thing. Get onto these planes and just go through the movies and see which one you're going to watch.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm flying Emirates, and yeah, no doubt there'll be great movies on it. Now I've got some extra leg room, but I'm not up sitting fancy. Do you know, we would have done these flights in years gone by where you get to stretch out and you get the old eye mask on, whatever else. Those days are the old Alakadoo goes so far, but not that far.
Exactly, stretching it that far. Used to be great chatting to a few of the journalists, and then one would you turn left as you go on. Best of luck down there.
Good to see you anyway. We'll see you over there, will we? Yeah, that's me.
The lads in like sardines. One thing, because you are in that bandwagon of, because you're going to, obviously we're going to take total advantage of having you on the ground down there, and we're going to, you know what I mean, have the pod live from.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
well, I'm going to try it, and obviously behind on the dressing room, which we'd love for those people who are involved, who love the podcast, to go and subscribe to. Check out the offloadpodcast.com. and subscribe to the dressing room, because yes, I will try and do some interviews and chats behind the scenes on the first tee, or maybe the 19th hole, whatever else on the golf course, maybe a vineyard.
Love it.
But yeah, no, I'll just try and get a bit of behind the scenes footage.
But don't turn in, because I'm listening to so many podcasts of people down there, or journalists down there, that are nearly whinging they have to work. If you know what I mean, they're kind of like, it's after the invitational match and we're still in the stadium, and they're like, you know, chat to Dave. You know what I mean? He's working there 12-hour shift from 4 a.m. Stop whinging about work. You know what I mean?
Well, they are working. I ain't working. I'm going there to enjoy myself. So if you do hear from me saying I'm still at the stadium, I won't be complaining about it. I'll still won't be able to see straight.
Oh, jeez, yeah, brilliant. Is there anyone you've arranged to meet up with for pints or grub, or like, do you know who's on the ground? Who's the crew? Are you just hoping to bump into a few of the lads?
I think there's quite a few in the team hotel. I was on to Shane Williams the other day. He's doing stuff with me as well. I think Sam Warburton, and I think there's actually quite a crew of us. I'm not too sure who's going to be there, but there's a crew meeting up at 2:00 on Saturday afternoon. The Lions Den. There you have it.
Ah, wow. Yeah, and, amazing.
Loads of us. And I think then we're going to do something with supporters before that as well, and then head to the match.
Wait, are you ready to comfort the poor Welsh lads? We've team selection in, and the first time in over 100 years, no Welsh player.
I know, I think it's the 1800s, I think it is. Before we do that, before we get into the rugby, because people like to have the quirky bit before, the Lotto winner from Cork, do you know them?
No.
You do,
but
don't you?
I don't know them, but I'd like to get to know them. Hey, how's it going? Cut the grass.
Did you read the art? So they've remained nameless, but they did this interview, right? And they said, so your man went down just to the local shop, he saw, geez, and I wouldn't normally buy Lotto tickets. Wow. Said he saw it, 250 million. And he thought, sure, we'll have a punt at that. Went home, watched the 9:00 news that night, and thought, let's go check this. Scanned it, and boom, 250 million. Amazing. Went up, had to wake the wife. Imagine,
Wake the wife.
imagine waking her up
He
with that
woke the
news.
wife with like champagne. He's like, yes, we've made it.
Well, you wouldn't believe it though, would you? You'd be kind of like
Ah.
waking her. You need to look at this. Will you look at this? Until you
Yeah.
get the. So he said they had the Lotto ticket because remember we had Willie Bennett who was part of the team masseuse for the Irish team. He was the bank manager for the lady. Was it Dolores who won it in Limerick
that's
all
right,
those years
yeah.
ago? And she went. Dolores came to Willie to take the Lotto ticket up to Dublin. And so this family had the Lotto ticket, but they're like, Jesus, somebody might know. So they hid it under a load of dirty washing in the bedroom. Just keep it in case they get robbed.
The irrational things you do, though, Tommy, isn't it? Like the
know.
things the way you wouldn't think, you know. But then, you know what I always love with these kind of wins? It's too much money for any one person to have. You know, these kind of like, I'd live with that problem.
Are you thinking? What line of thinking are you on this?
Go on.
Well, are you thinking it's way too much? I wouldn't want it.
It possibly is, but I wouldn't refuse it on those grounds. That's better if it's a syndicate and everyone gets a few quid. Like, let's be honest with you. Even if you won, like, $5,000 cash, how good's that?
Oh, $5,000 cash would be nice, all right. Yeah, sit up in business class all the way to Brisbane.
There you go. You got a bit of leg room for you.
But I keep saying this to Lucy. And she's like, I'd love to. I'm like, your life would be ruined.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Do you know what I always think the beauty in the Lotto is, and the reason to do it is for that hope. So when you buy it, you might as well buy it early. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you can, like, in your head, you can start thinking of it. Definitely change the car. And
well, you can't but think about this. But what I couldn't believe whenever the person did win this, we talked about it in the studio and work, the amount of people who buy Lotto tickets.
Yeah,
like it's insane.
True. Yeah, but they're buying hope, Tommy. They're buying hope.
Well, you got to be in it to win it, Donncha.
Yeah. Do you know what I always thought I'd do, though? Definitely. Did you do this in Ulster for a bit? It became a bit of a thing in Munster, and actually one of the greatest at it, Sammy Tui Tupo, who was incredible. King of the Ring. So we'd either mark out and kick him out.
Sorry, there's people walking past looking at me there. You're on camera. Sorry.
You're on camera. You can see yourselves on YouTube if you'd like to. But we do a King of the Ring, and it'd be honestly whatever way last person in this certain area. So like there was one time we did it out in the soccer pitch, and it was just a centre circle.
Right.
And whoever's left, I was thinking if you won the Lotto, you get one of those oversized checks. If you won that amount, you'd make it $1 million, and you'd like make it like the Hunger Games. You'd be throwing in weapons and stuff. Leave the lads at it.
This is Squid Games all over again, Donncha. You're an evil man.
It probably is.
I actually saw a horrific movie about that recently as well. But look at this: 80 to 100 million people buy a Euro Million ticket every week.
Yeah, well,
yeah, or a Lotto ticket every week. So
it's for the hope. We all buy a bit of hope, and actually, forget about the Lotto. The whole of Cork is hoping. You know, this weekend, man.
Listen,
Cork
JP McManus looks after Limerick. Maybe this couple will look after Cork hurling team going forward.
Well, fingers crossed by this time Sunday that we're all still bouncing around the place. That's going to be incredible. There's some sport on at the moment. Of course, we're blinkered, but like there's the golf. We've an Irishman, Ben Healy in yellow at the Tour de France, man.
Isn't that insane? How cool is Podagar fell off his bike there the other day as well, so he stays in the yellow jersey.
But not only that, like it's the rumours true that he kind of told, because if you're my greatest rival, Tommy, and you fall off your bike, I'm dropping a gear, and good luck, you'd see me for old rope.
Gone.
But I think he was like, no, that's because he's a kind of reigning champ and stuff like that. There's all that respect side of it.
Seems to be a bit of respect in this race, and that's why I'm not interested in it.
Oh, you're not. I like that. I like that within it there's all little rules. And
I do. Yeah. No, I get that. But it is like, do you think, remember the hype around Stephen Roach? Like he was the last person in 1980. Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Were we off to Dave?
332. 332.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Jeez, I think I might be 332. Right, wrap it up.
Your flight
Jack Morgan missed out. See ya. Sorry, lads.
Tommy didn't go and protest that Jack Morgan wasn't picked.
Anyway, yes. So loads of golf. Obviously, Rory McIlroy, Shane Lowry, Tom McKibben, isn't he? And what Seamus Power? I don't know what other Irish are in there as well. Darren Clark, loads of Irish going to be going for that. Obviously, Cork against Tip in the All Ireland hurling final as well.
Can I bring that in? I am going. Yeah, a
Of
buddy
course
of
you
mine was
are.
a. Yeah, I am, and I felt guilty for a few minutes because let's be honest, you know what I mean. I am blagging it, but then I was there. No, man, I want to see
You're
this.
Cork. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
fair
am
enough.
Cork, and I'm proud. Yeah, yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. So, do you know what I was thinking though? I would gladly give up my ticket for one person. I think who it could be useful for, Clayton Macmillan coming into Munster.
Oh,
I
Jesus.
I know you're going to put on your anyone but Munster glasses, but I think if he wants to get an essence on what Munster's all about,
Well,
if someone was able to bring him along to that All
he's
Ireland final, just see the rivalries between people you love. If you know what
so
I mean, I know.
so kind of like Clayton. This is what Munster rugby used to be like.
Well. But
See this support. See the sea of red. Yeah, we used to have
and
that.
don't forget,
Not anymore,
honestly,
mate.
not only that, we'd all of it. We'd all,
Oh yeah, you did. You
yeah,
had it
like
all
Tip as
good.
well. You know
It's
what I mean?
fairly
Those
fallen
beauties.
apart now, though, hasn't it?
Will you stop it? You man, you're taking my point here and you're absolutely hijacking it. I think that would be good for him to
It
not
would.
only as well for like you look at the fitness levels of those guys on Sunday. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
how do we fare up against that?
And the skill level. Sorry, there's some fella kind of looking. He's tapping on the window behind me.
Yeah.
To be fair, and it's back to back. Like he could go and see
That
the
Andy
hurling this
Farrell kid,
weekend.
he wants to know, did you bring your boots?
No, I'm going to be on the plane with half the Leinster team. The rest of them who haven't been picked. He's going to see
Dispute.
the Cork hurlers and then the Kerry footballers. Like that's two Munster teams in two All Ireland finals. So to be fair,
Yeah,
he'd have
great.
some eye opener of actually the level that Munster can hit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'll be a good one. So, Clayton, if you haven't got a ticket, I'm willing to give you
Is
my
he
one.
over yet?
But
Is he there?
he's over and back in the building. Yeah,
Oh, is he? Oh, right. Oh,
over and getting into it.
I'd say he will be there then.
I do think it would be a worthwhile event for him to go to. I do remember Laurie Fisher going to, I think it was a Munster final, and I remember him coming back, and he actually changed the way he trained us. Instead of kind of going, can I get six lads over here? He'd kind of go, can I get the Limerick and Tip lads here? Can I get the Cork and Waterford boys here? You know that way?
And give
You're
you
like,
all
here we go.
hurls. And away we go. It's you and your centre circle, right? There's your grand in the middle, lads.
The Hunger
Fight
Games,
it out.
feed into it.
Fight it
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
No, it is. It's going to be a brilliant weekend of sport. And
Yeah.
you know, I just hope, Donncha, the Lions' first test lives up to it. Because when you think of Cork against Tip, you know it's going to be a cracker match.
It's going to be a cracker.
The golf is going to come down to an epic scenes. Whether McElroy gets through or not, you know, Lowry won it last time around in Portrush. It's always going to be amazing. Everything else, Wimbledon last weekend was fantastic. Yeah. You just want to see Australia put it up to the Lions. I'm a bit worried, I have to say, now the two teams are announced.
When they name the teams. Do you know what, Tommy? I know this sounds awful. The only bit of hope that keeps me in it is Joe. Knowing that Joe can get a beater of that squad. If Joe wasn't involved in that team, I'd probably be saying, you know what I mean? But
not a hope.
Not a hope.
No.
When I looked at the teams and I saw who they're missing and the inexperienced line in at 10, it's not daunting. But then when you know what Joe Schmidt can do, you're there like...
I know.
But then it's kind of important though, Tommy, isn't it? Like if this Lions team just like there's been no we spoke about it. There's been no grow. There's been no massive bite so far.
Would you worry? Well, it's probably too early for this. So let's talk first test because I'm worried that if it was 3-0, what's the future for Lions in Australia? But if you're thinking about the squad selection, let's talk Australia there. As you mentioned, like give Tom Lynagh, that's his first start for Australia in a first test against the Lions. You have Nick Champion de Crispy, or I'm not too sure. Do you know how to pronounce?
I don't.
Do you know? It's his first cap, but I mean he's a hell of a player. But first cap at 29, you know, no Valentini, no Skelton.
Well, they're the big two losses.
The hooker's missing. Obviously their frontline out half who started 10 of their last 11 tests. He's injured for all 3 tests. Like Joe is a hell of a coach, but geez, it's going to be interesting whether he can really sort that out or not.
And do you know what? It kind of puts a bit of pressure on him because he has had a decent run in time. If you look at the game against England and Twickenham, you know what I mean, where they got the win. And then, to be fair, they were competitive against those. Scotland probably didn't go the way they'd liked, but he's had enough time to be trying. I know they got injuries against Fiji and stuff like that, but they've O'Connor there as well that they could. But that's what makes me a little bit worried that Joe, we know what he's like.
Yeah.
Maybe Lina can he be his Johnny? You know what I mean? Like in terms of foot soldier, run the plays.
Well, he's picked him because he trusts him. He picks him because he thinks he can do the job. Like, you know, he does have a few other options there, as you say. James O'Connor, I think there's another out half as well, who was expected really to be picked. Is it Donaldson? I can't remember. Anyway,
we probably
Joe's
need
picked
a
him because he
proper rugby person on this podcast, don't we?
I'll find out when I get over there.
Yeah.
Are you the lad? Can you play out half? No.
Can you play 10? But that makes me think, don't worry with the young fella. Play Michael Lina. You know what I mean? We know what he can do.
But you just look at the team compared to 2013. You know, when you had Israel Folau, you had Berg Barnes, Lia Liafano, you had Adam Ashley Cooper, James O'Connor, Will Genia, Michael Hooper, Douglas Horwill, more like that was a lot of names that you know there. You go through this current team, you don't know them so well.
And,
but anyway,
and
listen,
not only
I trust.
that, like no, but you're right.
Again.
Like we can't be delusional either. The performance against Fiji was bang average. They're 8th in the world. You know what I mean? They like I think we look at it like I just look at that Lions team. That is a powerful squad. Like they should be going out to honestly give this Australian team a bloody nose. Like from working with Joe Schmidt, what are the areas you breakdown you have to nail? So you like this, you do Andy Farrell's process of thinking Friday night. What the key areas we have to nail this to get the result?
Listen, to beat Ireland, to beat the Lions, which is pretty much Ireland, and the style of rugby they're playing, they have to go hard at the breakdown. If they can slow down the Lions ball, there's absolutely an opportunity they can stop them. They will pepper the ball into the air. I would imagine they're going to climb all over Hugo Keenan, James Lowe, Freeman in the back three.
Is decent at it. Potter's, you know what I mean? We've seen him in his time.
Good. Yeah. Very good. So I would say they'll play percentages, try and put the pressure on this Lions team, because realistically, and we've got a clip actually with we talked to Ian McGeechan during the week in the dressing room. We'd love you to go back and listen to it. It's 45 minutes. Really, really fascinating. The absolute Lion King. We're going to play a clip of our conversation towards the end of this podcast. But the one thing that he said is that he feels that Joe Schmidt has not released any of the Australian players to the likes of the Reds, the Brumbies, whatever else, with the hope that, like what you've seen with Leinster, they go and they walk the URC, they win easy, and then all of a sudden they come up against a Northampton, they come up against a big, strong opposition, and they're shell-shocked. Yeah. I would imagine the one chance that they have is that they're going to try and frighten the life out of them, take them to a whole new intensity, and hope the big players freeze on the big occasion, because there's an awful lot of pressure. There's no pressure on this Australian team.
I agree. For the host nation to be saying that, but it has got a waft of Soldiers Field, doesn't it? Off it.
Yeah.
A remit by Joe Schmidt, a one-off game that will define the history forever. And like if Australia were to go 1-0 up, then you know what I mean. All the uncertainty stops. Everyone gets nervous.
Am I allowed to say I hope they win the first one?
Do you think? I actually think if they win the first one, it'll end up being a bit of a mess. I'd rather they won 2 or 3, if you know what I'm saying. But then again, maybe it'll grow it.
Where passengers are we running late here now.
Come on, lads.
Somebody's left their laptop in security.
Jeez, you know what I mean? It's a schoolboy.
But I hear what you're saying. Listen, you want to take the pressure off by winning the first test, of course. But I just think if, like, Lions are such favourites, they could easily win 2 and 3. If the Lions win the first, I don't know if Australia have it in them to win second or third. Well, and realistically, if Lions are 2-0 up, sure, what's the point?
But do you know what you're saying there about, and Geech was right, but when I was thinking about it after he was chatting in the dressing room, I was thinking, Australia can't. Look at how the injury of one player has made their whole, or 3 quality players. Yeah. They don't have, unfortunately, I feel, they don't have the strength and depth that they could have released all those players. Joe needed not only to drill them, but also to nearly protect them, because if you lose those...
Could they have played more matches? Maybe they played a lot of warm-up internal matches, whatever else, and that's maybe where the injuries have come from.
It was making me think, should they have flipped it? Should Australia have played all those home matches against their own crowd, and then the Lions played Fiji a few times? Because, like, we haven't seen a whole lot of the Lions either. We don't know how, you know what I mean, good they are as a result of it. Geez, it really does need this first test. Like, I know it goes back and you always think your own time, but like, geez, at least the '09, man, those test matches were blockbuster.
Well, another thing you'll hear from Ian McGeechan as well is how he talked about '09 saved the Lions. It brought it
Yeah.
back. That actually
Yeah.
going through the Lions before that, you had the Clive Woodward one before that, you had Australia before that, that it didn't go well. It lost the buzz, it lost the interest levels. And '09 really just brought it to a whole new level. And it was really interesting to hear McGeechan how he was talking that he didn't expect to be coaching that. And they asked him, nearly begged him, would you please come and do this? Because you are the essence of what the Lions is all about, and make it special for these players. And myself and yourself, we've both been on two separate tours, either side of '09. But my God, '09 was just so special. And I worry with this one if the series isn't competitive. Yeah, what's going to happen? Anyway, what are you thinking about the Lions? What obviously Byrne and Morgan are the two big. Byrne and Curry are the two big calls in the back row.
Yeah, they probably are. I'll be honest with you. I remember I was listening to something where when Simon was stepping in for Andy Farrell, and he was asked, these kind of generic questions. If you could take any player from any other squad, who would you take? And he mentioned he'd take Tom Curry. And I remember,
Right.
that was during the Six Nations. I was there. If Simon Easterby has seen something here, you know what I mean? If there's that respect from a dog like that, Curry's got something that they like an awful lot. So I'm not surprised.
He hasn't played well, though. He hasn't been playing well. And Byrne hasn't played well.
Yeah, but like everything, it's a leap of faith, Tommy, isn't it? When you finally do pick the team, and then you pick on character, you pick on someone that you can probably give a nudge and say, listen, I've 100%, and the confidence. Imagine for Tom Curry in a position where it is that he's picked you. You know what I mean? That they think you're good enough. You'd grow a foot there.
Yeah, but Donncha, you think about squad selection in years gone by, how gutted you were. Remember you talked about missing out on that second test, and you'd felt you'd done nothing wrong, you'd done everything right. And yes, this is what selection is. It's all in the hands of the coaches, and Andy Farrell picks who he trusts. But all this talk about you have got, 5 games, you've got 2-3 opportunities to really. Now, we don't know what happens in training, and that's a big part that McGeechan again talked about we haven't seen. But I thought Jack Morgan has been fantastic. I thought he's abrasive, he's tough on the ground, and we know exactly what a competitor Curry is. We know even Chesham has played really well in the back row too. And I just think that for those guys, for squad dynamic, they've done everything they could in those warm-up matches, and to not get picked, I think is I just wonder what the squad dynamic and how they react to it. Particularly, listen, if the Lions win, listen, these things happen.
Yeah.
But they'd hope that they get another opportunity potentially.
Well, there's where you see the real Lions, isn't it? Geach touched on it, always does. You know what I mean? It's that one that helps the team, that doesn't go off tour, that, you know what I mean, thinks of everyone else by himself and prepares guys. And look, the character of those guys, you probably wouldn't question it, but it can be quite shallow, if you know what I mean. Like, you never know until you scratch the surface of how someone's going to act. The Big one time. For me, though, Tommy, I know this sounds nuts, right? But I was thinking, if Marcus Smith wasn't on the bench, would Marcus Smith ever start, do you think, in a test?
No.
But he's
there. He's just he's a wonderful player in terms of he can play 10, probably 12 and 15, just cover so many hours. And particularly when you've got Bundy Aki who can't cover many positions.
No, but this is my point. It's the cruelty of knowing that, right? Someone like Morgan or Van der Fleer could play or not be involved.
Yeah.
Whereas Marcus can sub but never start, in my head. That way it's the cruelty of it in ways, isn't it?
It's they talk about the cruelty of the utility player, but when you come to an opportunity like the Lions, a utility player is perfect.
Yeah.
If you can be like a Jamie Osborne, for instance.
Yeah.
He put him on the bench, he covers everything.
Yeah. But the way we say, honestly, because that's why Curry is picked. If you see, Linus playing, Curry's played against him in the Prem. They went at it when he was playing with Harlequins and he's with Sale. You know what I mean? He knows him inside out. He'd be fully confident he can ragdoll him. You know that way?
Yeah.
They're possibly saying the same about Finn Russell. You know what I mean? Like, if Finn Russell goes off after 6-7 minutes, and you're
Yeah.
looking at Marcus the boss the show at 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In a game where playing against, like we know, go against Joe Schmidt and you don't kick long and on. If you give him launch off line out, he's going to honestly carve you one, isn't he?
Big time, big time. No, like there's loads of permutations like that, and obviously, listen, they obviously back Marcus Smith can do the
Yeah.
job, because otherwise you would have thought that Owen Farrell might have been given the nod. Again, squad dynamics. How would that have gone down with Finn Smith and Marcus Smith if Owen Farrell's bolted in and straight into the bench? You know, I do think you have to take that sort like winning. The one thing I took from Ian McGeechan's chat, and I love the chat with him, and I hate going back to this for people who haven't listened to it all. But you can't, please, would love you to go and subscribe.
You've made the point. Come on,
It's
yes.
£6. But what I loved about him is him talking about how the first week it wasn't about what happened on the pitch. It was all about off the pitch. That making the Lions special, make this experience special. The players want to be there. They want to be a part of it. And if they want to be there, then it'll happen on the pitch. And I think that maybe Andy Farrell, like from what I read Rory O'Connor's article about it, that they haven't been really meeting the school kids. They haven't been great at being very open to the press. They haven't been going out to schools and charities, whatever else. They've been very much a guarded shop. I think it's a little bit back to Clive Woodward-esque. And I just think that
Hold on a second. I was on that tour. I was at every fucking Murray leading thing that was going. I couldn't have been at more hongies or ceremonies. I was like, honestly, I came home, I met my family, and I hongied. You know where you touch noses? I just thought that was the way you greeted people.
The Midweek Massive did that. Okay. Well, I gather there's not been the same access or whatever else to the team over there. It's been very guarded. It's been a closed shop. And I just, in my eyes, that's not what the Lions is about. And you can tell it. You can tell that there's not been the buzz about it.
Yeah, but it's all about winning. Like, honestly, we have crossed over.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
Do you not? Yeah.
Listen, if the Lions win 3-0, what good is that going to do? Where if they had been outreaching, talking to schools, doing the chat, like maybe they are doing a lot of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, whenever Rory O'Connor does an article like that, I thought it was a very pointed article about how they haven't really embraced what the Lions is about.
Yeah,
and winning is one thing, but what Ian McGeechan said, it's actually what happens off the pitch is most important.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and look, he's the best at leading it in terms of, you know, the driver of the standards. I don't know, Tommy. It's hard to say when you're not around it a little bit as well. We know that some of that stuff, I hope they cut some of it, because some of it genuinely is a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? You were like, I understand
it's
this.
Not Donncha. Yeah, well, I understand.
Some of it man.
I hated doing it. But it's a bigger picture. It's bigger picture.
Yeah.
Like, you think about Brian Abana talking about when South Africa, when he saw the boys that they were out in the townships, that they were having to drive for hours to go and see these school kids.
Yeah,
You're
true.
leaving a legacy there of teaching people how important and what the Lions is, because they don't know what it is otherwise.
Well, you've hit the main point there. It's that they saw you doing it in the middle of test week. That,
totally.
you know, like, because I remember honestly going out to before test one with Paulie, and but you know the way you overthink everything. You're there like, they're going to tell the people that aren't involved on test one that they're doing this trip. You know what I mean? Because they're going to freshen up the lads. And then you went down and there was Paulie and there was someone else. You know what I mean? You were there, okay, this is a proper get embedded. You know what I mean? This isn't you know, let's keep the lads busy so they don't have a few points.
I'll give you one example as well, what you said before the tour. Actually, the one thing that makes a successful Lions tour is actually it's going old school, going backwards. That it's not about the professionalism. It's not about the winning. Obviously, listen, obviously the test matches you want to win. But at the same time, I think actually to make players, because otherwise for the players, sure, what is it then? Then, you know, how do you make it different?
Yeah, agree. But then again, look, I don't want to start this debate, but is modern society different? Are the lads quite happy sitting in the hotel room playing poker? Like, Tommy, I know this sounds awful, but like everyone was there, oh, you're going to Paris next week. You know what I mean? Amazing. Will you get to see it? And we know it, man. Like, what are you doing, Dunners? I'm watching The West Wing or Breaking Bad in my room. Like, you know what I mean? Champs-Élysées is out there. I don't care, man. I'm here to play
See it out the window. Yeah, you're right. You're right. The couple of lads who go and climb up the Eiffel Tower, so they're bollocks by the time the match comes along.
Well, the main one always, and I was always envious of him, but I never joined him. I always thought of Jordan Murphy, man. Everywhere we always got it, Jordan jumped on the open top bus, put on the headset, and just did a lap and jumped back off. And we like after about 2-3 hours, he'd seen it all or heard it all. You know what I mean? At least whereas he'd come back in and we're there. Yeah, we've just watched the In-Betweeners for the 12th time.
Yeah, he makes you sick though. He's so skillful. Do you mean he doesn't even need to be fit?
No,
like he's doing backward kicks and all sorts of stuff that you can only dream of.
We need to get Jordan on to tell the story of when he got the recovery bus to stop to get chips.
Chips.
Like and none of us had a bean. All of us were in our swimming togs, so no one had money. We had to borrow money off the bus driver who looked like Peter Classy to buy chips in KFC.
This is what we want from the Lions, Donncha. This is what it is, man. Chips.
I do remember going in and they're like, "Can I get 24 bags of chips, please?"
Was that the bus driver who looked like Claw?
Yeah.
Peter Classy. Claw, stop the bus.
Yeah, Claw, stop the bus. When you wouldn't mind, he paid for the chips as well. We had to give him the money out of the kitty when we gave back.
Yeah, that's what's all about. That's the memories. That's the memories.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, I am going to have to hit the road here.
Yeah, before you let get, I want to make a point though, because we touch on brilliant weekend in terms of Ireland got a massive win over Portugal. We'd been chanting to Simon Mannix. That probably didn't go the way.
Wasn't it?
Bit of a joke, yeah. Just thoughts on it, Tommy, overall.
Listen, Simon Mannix I thought was really interesting, and I actually when we were talking to him I kind of thought like that's a bit harsh, because he kind of said it was a bit of a joke. He said as much as it's a great opportunity for these lads to play against Portugal, what are they really going to get out of it? You know, you want to play against better teams, but at the same time you want to play against better teams that you actually have a chance against.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was a bit of a disaster. Let's
just sweep around really quickly. England, 6 wins in a row now. Think of it, they've 13, maybe 14 on the Lions tour. Like they've, your man is a Pepper, or what's his name in the back row. They're establishing, like England look good, man, don't they?
Yeah. No, they're getting good. And when you think about some of their lines that are going to come back, they're young lads, the likes of Finn Smith, Mitchell, young fellas who are going to be coming in hungry. With Curry, Chesham, these guys, even Genge has been good on this tour, actually. Yeah, they're looking pretty good. A couple of good wins for them as well. Obviously, New Zealand and France is going to be the trilogy. France have won 2, or New Zealand have won 2, but you'd hope that France can give them another good game this weekend.
I'm loving the niggle between them. See the big thing they're making now with the French walking off when they were collecting the trophy and not clapping them and applauding them when they picked up this. They play for some cup, obviously, between them. Yeah, you know the way
disrespected. I'd say they feel disrespected by the squad that France have picked.
They're always feeling disrespected, the All Blacks, aren't they? You know what I mean? By not naming the squad. And then the big one I want to chat to you, though, is about Rassie this weekend. There's an awful lot being made of it. You know what I mean? The kind of... And it's something we've touched on before, and I just want to throw it out there. Just thoughts on the way he's coaching, because I know maybe we differ a little bit, but I actually think Rassie doesn't get the credit he deserves. I think he is pushing to be one of the greatest coaches to ever coach the game.
I don't agree that he doesn't get the like he's won 2 World Cups. But I think what he doesn't get the credit is that he tries to stir the pot and tries to go against the rules and try different things. But isn't that amazing? Like this is what the great inventors of our time in terms of fucking light bulbs and hoovers and all sorts. Do you mean?
He's like Einstein.
He's like Edison.
But that's the truth.
Rassie Edison. Yeah.
But what I find with him is that if someone like Joe Schmidt did it, or if Eddie Jones did it, it would get this. But straight away, the context of which it's put across. And I think there's always a negative frame when it comes to chatting about South Africa and South African teams.
He doesn't help himself, Donncha. With his tweeting, the stuff he puts on Twitter, he's quite confrontational or whatever. You know, if he went about it and just did the moves, great. But I just think he's a bit confrontational, a bit kind of smug.
I love that. I love how two-sided we are on stuff. Like, we love Pocock, but we don't love Rassie. You know what I mean? Because Rassie should be keeping... Pollock. You know what I mean? We love that kind of bit of a free spirit within it.
I don't like Pollock. I don't like that.
I hope the first
I like
person
it for the game.
Brisbane...
I like it for the game. I like the smugness, and I think it's something that England need. But it's definitely in years to come when Pollock becomes a pain in our arse. We'll be fed up of him and his,
Yeah, but as we
cockiness.
said before, I just think what Rassie did there with coming up with, of course, he's ahead of the kicker, but they could have easily kicked it out on the full, or they could have found some other way to take advantage of having that incredible scrum.
I know.
But
I love that. Love that
yeah,
stuff.
but nobody's talking about the main point. Everyone chatted he's ruining the game with the 7-1. He's not far off an 8. Like he used his centres as back rows for the rest of that game after one got red carded and one was injured or one was in the sin bin. He did centres in. He never sacrificed his scrum.
Sorry,
that's for Rassie.
Taxi for Donncha Callahan. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
To give Rassie this. Thank you.
I know, man. You love Rassie.
I love Rassie.
It. I love it. Listen, I love people thinking outside the box. I love that kickoff. I thought it was brilliant. Yeah. And I love, say, like on a penalty where I saw just a clip of a schoolboy kicking for the corner and the winger chased it up and you made it look and the referee wasn't too sure what to do. Love it. Push the boundaries. Yeah, absolutely. And but I do think Rassie gets the benefit. I do think.
No, I don't. I always feel if he was probably, maybe it's with a different nation or if he was a different coach, I think everyone would be going, this guy is honestly the messiah of our game.
I don't know what more you want from him. Like, what more? No. What do you want? Who's going to say it? Everyone says it. He's won 2 World Cups.
I don't think he gets enough credit. Genuinely, I don't. The first question always again is, Rassie's at it, he's cheating. Instead of like, he's so far ahead of us in terms of coaching. That man, honestly, Rassie is playing chess. Everyone else is playing Connect 4.
Right. Okay, right. Let's
Can
finally
I just real quickly, you know the one where they lifted in the middle of the pitch?
Right. Yeah.
Jordy Flannery had that idea before about, if you, in a line-out, if you go over the 15, the line-out's over. Mm-hmm. So the player can come around and rob the ball. Fla's point was, could we not hold them up, the lifters hold them up, if it's 5 meters out, and walk over the line? And I remember we were all like, Fla, stop being so silly, man. You know what I mean? Whereas I'd say he's around Rassie, who's going, okay, I'll get on to World Rugby and see, can we do that?
There you go.
Yeah. Innovation.
He's ahead of the game.
To the Einstein of our game. Rassie,
he's playing
we love
chess. Quickly, I want to touch on the women's under-20s are playing Six Nations at the minute. They're beating Scotland at the minute. So hopefully they go on to win that game. The Irish under-20s have not been having a good run, have they? Who are they going to be playing in the playoff?
Spain to finish 12th.
Wow.
It's been a bad year for us.
Been a bad year for the under-20s. Okay, right. Well, listen, the future is bright. I'm going to be there in the Lions in Brisbane within the next 24 hours. It's a long stint ahead of me.
Go well, Tommy.
Shall we hear from the Lion King? We have a nice little clip of our chat with the Lion King, Ian McGeechan. Please do check it out on the offloadpodcast.com if you want to listen to more. And hopefully I'll have some feedback and stuff on the ground over there.
Our man on the ground.
Take it away, Sir Ian. You mentioned there week 5, where I'd say week 5 of this current tour. Geech, you've been on the telly with Sky. What have you made of it so far? First test coming up very shortly. I'd be interested to get your take on it so far.
To be honest, I think I'm a little bit disappointed in quality of the opponents. As I wish Australia had played all their top players in the state games, and they could miss out on that as well because the test match is so different. Mm-hmm. I know back in '89 that we did play everybody, and there was some battles, but I think the problem. So the issue is first test will be so different because you could say Australian rugby, Super Rugby went well this year. So there is a bit of confidence about it. But Australia, more than New Zealand and South Africa, is that their top 30, 40 players are very good players.
Yeah.
So they might not have the depth. So when you come across them for the first time, which will be test match 1, then the Lions have to understand the impact of what that game will bring from their opponents, and as you two know so well, it's how much playing the Lions means to an opponent, that it's their biggest game. I mean, And when you've got very good players, a group of them who see it as their very best game or biggest game, then it just makes the impact even greater in that. And that's the respect of the Lions has in the 3 Southern Hemisphere countries. So I think for me that the Lions have a good squad. There's no, and it will be a good test team. There'll be some preferences, but it's not that there's no obvious weaknesses there. But what they've got to expect is what comes from Australia, and meet fire with fire to get that level up in the first 15, 20 minutes of the game. And then I think winning that first test then has a huge psychological impact. And in '89, we got that wrong. We were outplayed in the first test.
Yeah.
We did go a bit back to basics and set piece and big Englishmen up front to actually take them on up front and just slow everything down. And then we still had the match winners like Jerry Guscott in the backs. So it's knowing that there will be an impact on Saturday
Huge.
that the Lions have to be prepared for.
Just on that, Serene, an awful lot of debate and conversation about Andy Farrell's game plan. We're quite used to seeing it in Ireland, where he's using his forwards around the pitch and different stuff. But you mentioned back to basics when you're trying to gel a squad together. What have you made of the way the Lions are playing? Do you like that type of rugby? Do you think that that's the way to beat Australia, or would you look to get back to more basics and do whatever it takes to get a result?
No, I think I am a back Donncha, so I've got to think.
Put it in the corner, Skeech.
Passing's always is pretty good, but no, I think it's like anything. I think the Lions have the capability of putting Australia under a lot of pressure at scrum and line out. I think what they'll want to improve, and everybody's said it, is the breakdown.
Yeah.
Because if it's an opponent's breakdown, if you can slow it down, then it takes the pressure off the defence. If it's an attacking breakdown, and which is where Ireland are so good, is that interchange of running off 9 or running off 10 and have players coming into play at speed and later, which obviously Andy Farrell, is very keen on. And it's that earning the right in the contact to play the game you want to play. And you can't get away with scrum, line out, kickoffs and breakdowns. If the Lions get that right, then I think they'll have too much for Australia. Because there's good attacking players, there's speed, and there's a lot of potential ball carriers in different parts of the field, which in a way gives the greater variety, but also makes them unpredictable, which is, in the end, as a coach, is what you want.
I saw Ronan O'Gara picked his team there. I think there was 9 Irish starting in the 15.
Only
I think
9.
you're beside him for that. Are you a believer in starting with your best 15? Are you a believer in combinations? What was your kind of mantra in terms of do you have the Scottish pairing together with the English or the Irish pair? Whenever you were building a Lions squad, what was the most important part in terms of selection?
Well, Tommy, I can tell you that at the beginning of most tours as coaches, we'd put down what we thought our starting test 15 would be.
Would you right?
I never got it right.
No way.
Never got it right. Because of what you've said, combinations, chemistry, players coming through in games, but particularly in training. I think the Lions training, when you mentioned it earlier, there's far more training than playing. What you learn on the training field and how you adapt to others, it brings different things out of players that you haven't seen before, because you're doing it often with a player from another country. So I think all that comes into it. Chemistry is important, and that understanding on the field is important. And a lot of that comes from what happens on the training field. So I think that is important. I would go for what I would consider the strongest. See, but it's always it is a personal preference. It's what you've seen and what you think can make the biggest impact. And some of that is combinations and chemistry in what's happened in training and what's happened in the previous games. And so I think Andy will have a good idea in his head. And sometimes as a coach, it's just a gut feeling about what you see in a player and what you want to come out, what you think will come out when he's alongside some of the other players. So it's a mix and match, obviously, but you are talking about, and that's the real privilege of coaching the Lions. You have got the best group of players from 4 countries. So we're not talking about players not good enough. But it is back to combination and adaptability and having an open mind that you can try things differently. And it's the players who do that, and often then on the test match field will keep that open mind and bring the best out of each other. And that brings out a game which I think reflects and characterizes that group of players. And I go back to any Lions tour, they're all slightly different and in the way they play, how they play, because it comes down to the chemistry on the field in the big moments.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be the interesting bit for me to watch and see on Saturday.
It's changed an awful lot. We're seeing a few players being called in late on tour. Just how do you manage that dynamic, Geech? Especially as well when, the media always does have a take and we all put on our biased hats that we'd like more Irish, Scottish, Welsh, English, even 1 or 2 Munster would be nice. No, but how do you manage that, Geech? That kind of balance in bringing someone in late and embedding them? Like Owen Farrell's an interesting one, isn't it? Like, do you see him having a major part to play on this tour?
Well, the reasons for him not being there are obvious, but there is a huge logic for having him there in the fourth tour that he will have been on. He is a test match animal.
Yeah, yes.
He knows how to win Lions test matches. So the impact he can have, we're back to the training field and what you do there and what you pick up there and the feedback that comes back. It probably will not be it will not be starting test 15. Could well be possibly on the bench. But what you can bet is this coming week, he will be putting a lot of pressure on the test players in the way he trains against them and the way he organises others against them. So the outcome at the end of the week is a better test team just because of that impact on the whole group with attitude and then you are avoiding a lot of the pitfalls that could be there for players who haven't been in that situation.
Big time. Listen, we won't hold you much longer, Geech. I do want to say it is the week of the first test. As a coach, Andy Farrell's talked about the midweek matches. I can imagine it's almost a slog. It's tough getting through those early stages. We all want to get to the test matches. As a coach, from the coaching side, because you're obviously there as a player as well, but week of test match 1, is it excitement for a coach? Is this when the real nerves kicks in? This is where the real interest, the supporters all start to descend on the country and the cities that you're visiting.
Yeah, well, as you said, it is week 5 or thereabouts. Tours have got shorter, and you do, which is the other big thing about the '97 Lions was because it was on Sky and because they were doing well, and because of the timeline. There was a lot of people who actually decided on the Thursday night they were flying out Friday to watch a test match Saturday, come
Wow.
back Sunday, and go back into work on Monday.
Wow.
So some of so suddenly you've got, in '89 there was probably 1,000 spectators, maybe 900, 1,000, not a huge amount. In '74, I think there was one official spectator. Well, things have changed a bit, but '97, I think, changed that because there was the story of the supporters.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's happened since '97 is that relationship between the team and the support, which has just got stronger. And, just little story. After 2009, went back to Washington, we did a charity evening. And there was supporters from all over, and an elderly lady came up to me after the evening and just said, "Oh, thank you very much for that, Ian. Enjoyed it. Thank you very much," she said. And I thought she meant for the evening, and she said, "No," she said, "for the Lions and the tour." And I sort of looked at her quizzically, and she said, "Well, my husband and I had saved up 4 years to go on the tour, and unfortunately, he died in February. But my family persuaded me to still go out on the tour." And she said, "I was out for 3 weeks." She said, "I had my Lions jersey on." She said, "I was never alone once on that tour. The only reason I was wearing a Lions jersey, whether it's English, Irish, Scots, whatever, Welsh, I was part of something." He said, "God willing, if I'm still fit and healthy, I'll be in Australia in 2030.
Wow.
And that is the impact. I think that sometimes you don't get that. Hit me quite strongly, that's how much it means. And it's another unique piece of the Lions is that connection with its support as a team, and not to underestimate how important it is to players. The great thing now is when you hear players still talk about it's the biggest jersey they can wear, when the Lions are in good shape. If the
Absolutely.
players don't say that, the Lions will not last. The Lions are there because it means so much to the players in 4 countries. And if you get the privilege and the opportunity to coach them as well, then you are in special places.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And no better man that to epitomise that. Geech, Sir Ian McGeechan, the ultimate lion, the Lion King. Listen, and the head coach of probably myself and Donncha's favourite. We're both a part of 2 Lions tours, but 2009 was just something really special. And Geech, thanks so much, man. Honestly, really enjoyed that chat. Great to see you looking fit, healthy, and still coaching away in Doncaster. Never ends.
I say, as you've just found out, I can bore anybody about rugby for as long as you like. And I'm just doing that to the players here now.
No chance, Geech. But Tommy mentioned it there. From 2-year Cubs, you gave us a massive love for Lions rugby, and you always set the tone. We all try to be Lions, but you're Mufasa, and we're so proud to be around you. And you need to know how much we all love you. Thank you so much for everything you did in our careers.
Donncha, thank you, Tommy. I really appreciate that. It means a lot.
What a beaut.
I love him, Tommy. I love him. Like, genuinely, it's nuts. He can get me ready to go, can't he? Just, do you know what I was saying to him afterwards when we were off kind of mic? Geech, do audiobooks. His voice is beautiful, isn't it?
I just, I'm trying to look at the saying. so it's kind of like, oh, it's not about what you say, it's not about what you do, it's about how you make people feel. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what Ian McGeechan is all about.
Yeah, he does. He does.
He speaks very well, yes. He says all the right things, but when you're in his presence, you feel respected, you feel listened to, and I just love him, love it all about him. You know, he's the ultimate. I love that Mufasa. He had no idea who Mufasa was.
Not
but he
a
loved it.
notion who Mufasa is. But you know what? I like that he had a little dig off Paulie. One of the things was, we've chatted about it a number of times, the midweek massive, right? After we went unbeaten, like on that tour, the midweek massive won every match. No, to be fair, we weren't playing to the same caliber of maybe some of the Saturday teams, but still, like, decent effort. Geach went off and got midweek massive t-shirts made up for all the midweek massive.
Class.
Yeah, but O'Connell took offence to it in typical Paulie fashion. He's like, why are we splitting the squad? And we're there like, because we've been down the feckin' South Island for the last 3 weeks on our tour.
Is it because you did you not do a jersey presentation for the midweek massive as well?
Yeah. Well, sorry, that was me pushing it a little bit. I was there. Geach, you know the way we've got. And then the ruthless fuckers. Listen to this, Tommy. I didn't get one because the last game was Auckland and I got called in. So I didn't get to play against Auckland. Of course, it's always your own that do you. He shouldn't get a t-shirt. He isn't in the midweek massive to the end.
Well done, Hayes. Well done, Hayes.
Well done, Hayes. We love you.
Listen, thanks so much for checking out the Offload podcast. As always, we love to hear from you as well. We've a load of messages and we keep promising we're going to go through some of them, but we will. Maybe that's going to be some of my bonus material down in Australia. But if you have any questions even for Down in Oz, please do check out the podcast and the Offload and the dressing room and everything else. Donncha, farewell.
Travel well, Tommy. Travel
Cheers,
well.
mate.
We can't wait to see you down there, fella.
Good luck. Cheers, man.
Good day, mate. Put a bit of shrimp on the barbie.